Pat Robertson. We're talking about Pat Robertson. Be sure to join us tonight, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, over at TinyChat, because we're having church. We're not going to have a show. I am not a talk show host. I'm not going to entertain you, and I'm not going to tickle your ears. The spotlight tonight will not be on me, but only on the light of the world, because it's all about him, and it's not about us. Praise and worship music at 6:30. Wonderful fellowship live chat room. Tonight, I'm going to get into detail on Pat Robertson. I can't believe the video I uploaded yesterday titled Doomsday Asteroid Could Hit in 2 Weeks. We're almost at 4,000 views, almost 4,000 people, 3,888 people viewed that video, thinking that there may be a doomsday asteroid about to hit Earth in 2 weeks and wipe out mankind as we know it, when they find out it's about Pat Robertson, and I speak out against him writing books and being a prosperity preacher. Oh, not all, but a good number of attacks. All the attacks coming against me in defense of Pat Robertson, even from some of them who made their own prophecies, and God spoke to them that a mega earthquake was going to take out California last October. We're almost in the month of May 2014. California is still here. I'm going to get into great detail tonight. And I'm going to put this to rest. You know, the more the enemy comes on the attack of me, I'm not going to get down. I am not going to get down and run away. I'm going to face this head on. That means I have a lot more work to do. The enemy gets mad when I expose the darkness. We're talking about Pat Robertson, who likes to give the middle finger on live televised interviews. Pat Robertson, the one who gave advice when someone wrote in to the 700 Club that their wife was getting out of control and even attempted to raise her hand to her husband. And what should he do? He advised that he should probably leave the Christian faith, become a Muslim, and beat his wife. And at the end of that interview, I did a video on that. He's talking about the guy should probably go to Saudi Arabia where it's legal to beat your wife. This is the Pat Robertson. What other things? He's made prophecy upon prophecy that has never come true, never come to pass. We know what the Bible says about that. Let's take a look at a little bit of information on Pat Robertson. The more you're going to attack me, it just tells me I'm doing my job and I've got to come out, I've got to expose this darkness. We're talking about Pat Robertson. There's nothing wrong with writing a book if the proceeds are going to help those in need. But to line your own pockets, we're talking about Pat Robertson, who is worth in excess of $100 million and more. Pat Robertson, who wanted to follow in his father's footsteps. His father was a senator and get into politics. Pat Robertson, who is a Freemason, got ties to the order of the Jesuit order, and he went to law school. He couldn't pass the bar exam, so he went to seminary, and 4 months after leaving the seminary, he starts these mega businesses for profit. Let me give you a little rundown on Pat Robertson. You're going to come on the attack of me for trying to bring the truth and expose the darkness. Pat Robertson's net worth. We're going to cover this tonight. Pat Robertson's net worth. Pat Robertson is an American businessman and a charismatic Christian preacher who has a net worth in excess of $100 million. Born in Lexington, Virginia, Pat Robertson, also known as Marion Gordon Robertson, graduated from the McCallie School in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and went on to attend college in Washington and Lee University, and then served in the Marine Corps after attending Yale Law School and failing to pass the bar exam. He chose to attend a seminary in New York. I'm sorry, 4 years, not 4 months. 4 years after graduating, he launched the Christian Broadcasting Network in Virginia, and the network is now broadcast in 180 countries. In the late 80s, he ran for president because God told him that he would become the president of the United States. But, of course, that did not come to pass. He was unsuccessful. He runs a number of large companies and corporations. He has made multiple predictions and prophecies about the future of the United States based upon what God has told him. But so far to date, none of the prophecies have come to pass or have even been accurate. Let me give you a little bit more. Oh, I love it, a little bit more information on Pat Robertson. What are some of the prophecies? Yeah, he's a false prophet. What does the Bible say when you give a prophecy and the thing does not come to pass? Hang on a minute, there's more. Let's look at some of the prophecies. Oh my, tonight's going to be fun over at TinyChat. I think I'll record it for YouTube as well. I won't give you the whole rundown because there are quite many prophecies. It's kind of like every New Year's. Kind of like somebody else is emulating Pat Robertson. Every New Year, he gives a prophecy for the new year. Predictions, prophecies, several times near New Year's, Robertson has announced that God told him several truths or events that would happen in the following year. I have a relatively good track record, he said. However, sometimes I miss. In 1982, Doomsday. In late 1976, Pat Robertson predicted that the end of the world was coming. In October or November of 1982. In May 1980 broadcast of the 700 Club, he stated, I guarantee you by the end of 1982 there's going to be judgment on the world. Of course, it didn't happen. A Bush landslide, he predicts, and he gives a prophecy because God told him so in 2004. In January of 2004, Robertson said that God told him President Bush would be reelected in a blowout in November. I think George Bush is going to win in a walk. God told me. However, Bush did win, but it was a very, very close, tight race. The 2004 race between Bush and Kerry was one of the closest elections in all of history. He gave a prophecy. God told him that in 2006, the Pacific Northwestern tsunami would hit. In May of 2006, Robertson declared that storms and possibly a tsunami would hit America's coastline. Sometime in 2006, Robertson supposedly received his revelation from God during an annual personal prayer retreat in January. The claim was repeated 4 times on the 700 Club. And of course, nothing happened. God told him in 2007 there would be a terror attack in the United States. Oh, and it's just Mideast meltdown. Here's one I like. We'll cover this more tonight. On January 4th of 2012, Robertson reported that God had spoke to him and told him that the next president, who the next president would be. He did give an indication that it wouldn't be President Obama. God said it will not be President Obama since Robertson said God told him Obama's views were at odds with the majority, but left some room for interpretation. Had the 2012 election expanded beyond a 2-person race. Closer to the election, however, Pat Robertson expressly stated that God told him that Mitt Romney would win and be a 2-term president. And I'm the bad guy now. Pat Robertson. Hold on. What else is Pat Robertson? He's a false prophet. Let's take a look at some of his business deals. Where's the money go from the sale of his books? Apparently, Pat Robertson is a shrewd businessman. He used money from the 700 Club to buy the Family Channel. And when it began to make profits and became exempt from nonprofit status, he sold the business to himself and his son for very little money. In 1992, he made the company public, which increased his wealth to about $90 million. Then he sells the family channel to none other than a man he vilifies in public. Guess who? Robert Murdoch. Then he starts a multi-level marketing company telling people they can make between $10,000 and $15,000 a month. He changes the product from coupon books to vitamins in midair and would not refund the money. People paid for the coupon books. It was also found out that the Christian Broadcast Network gave the money for the startup of his companies. His next venture was the diamond business, which he was in cahoots with. Then Tsar, now the Congo, brutal and filthy rich dictator, Mobutu Seko, he used CBN funds to open this business also and pay the employees the same poverty-level wages that the Mobutu did in his mining operation. It also turns out that he used the Operation Blessing money and the money from all those that gave to his ministry to send equipment to his diamond mines. It goes on and on. We'll cover this more tonight. I get a kick sometimes out of how Satan will just try to tear me down and wear me down. We're talking about Pat Robertson here. All you're doing when you're attacking me, all you are doing is just making me stronger to where I know I need to just come out and just expose the darkness for what it is. Join us 7 o'clock p.m. Special announcement, big surprise tonight regarding Saturday's TinyChat. Leave me comments. Pat Robertson?